Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Melanie. If you're not new here, hello my lovelies, how are you guys? Welcome to Mellow Lavender. On this channel we talk about self-development, getting your life together, finances. Sometimes I do home decor vlogs, day in my life, even ASMR. So if you like any other content, please subscribe and join the fam. Okay, so there is a lot to discuss and I want to make this video not too long, so I'm splitting up my Q2 and kind of like how I'm tackling my debt in this video, and then the next video will be about my sinking funds, things I'm saving up for and what I'm looking forward to, because they're two different like money goals. We're currently in April. It's actually Easter today, so happy Easter to everyone. January, February, March was a very interesting quarter for me. I had just finished my last day of work in January and I chose to leave for a whole lot of reasons that I don't want to get into right now, but I was interviewing in the process of January and February, got an offer in February but wasn't working for the month of February, and then started off working in March. So as you can imagine, March was a hectic month for me, not only because I was starting a new job, but I was under the impression that I was going to move out, and then we decided not to move out. So there were a lot of things going on and it was just so much to process that my financial goals weren't even part of that discussion at that time, because I just could not process everything at the same time. I will say that I spent a lot of money where I definitely could have saved, but we live and we learn, right? So I did get a new job. I got about $13,000 raise, which was amazing and I absolutely love it. Before I talk about my debts, I just want to talk about kind of the struggle that I had basically in March and a little bit coming into April, but I finally kind of got out of that rut and now have some sort of idea of what I want in terms of finances. So March was a really rough time for me financially, not necessarily in money, just in terms of my mindset. I was just not in the place of like sitting down, writing out my budget, figuring out what I wanted to do next. I felt like I didn't know. I didn't know. And like I said, with all the other things that were going on, it was just too much to process all at once. I feel like now I'm at a place where I can actually sit down, did my budget, looked at what I wanted to do, and I did have an overview, right? Like I want to be financially free and I want to get out of debt ASAP. But obviously with that, there's a lot of smaller goals that we put in place and achieved in order for you to get to that bigger goal, and that's what I was having trouble with. So now I am in a different place. I feel much more comfortable now talking about what I want to achieve for Q2 and just and going from here financially. So the first thing is my credit card debt gotta go. I will put up in the cards my last time that I paid off my credit card debt. It was not as bad as the last time. December really like effed me over in the sense that I definitely bought more gifts than I was intending to, but it's all fine and good. Again, we live and we learn, and I'm just about to pay off basically most of it, if not all of it, in Q2. So just for reference, in March I paid off about $900 towards my debt. Part of that was because I was no longer moving, so the money that I had for moving, I allocated some of it into my debt, and then I'm hoping between April and May I can hopefully pay down the rest of it. I have about $637 left for my credit cards, and then I'll keep that zeroed out. Currently right now, which I'm super happy about, I am under 30% on my credit cards. That was something that I really wanted to do because, as you know, utilities play a huge part in your credit score, and I really want to get my credit score into a 750. So that's that. So the second thing that I'm really tackling for Q2 is my personal loan. When I was struggling back in the day, 1.5 years ago, my friend was kind enough to lend me some money, and slowly but surely I've been paying her off. and I'm almost done. I'm about $537 left of payments before I am completely done. Just for reference, if you're new here, I owed multiple people money because at one point I was only working part-time and I was not making enough to like pay rent and all the other things that I needed. And to now be at this point where like I only owe one person, I'm almost done with that, and my credit cards are zeroed out almost, and like I'm slowly paying off my student loans is insane to me. And like it just blows my mind because I wouldn't think that in 2 years I could achieve as much as I actually did. So I'm just super blessed and super happy that that I was able to pay that money. So the last thing, and I guess it's like the most enticing part, that's my student loans. So my goal is to pay off $10,000 for my student loans in 2021. I know this is a little lofty given that there are other things, and you guys will see in my budget as well, that kind of take precedent over like my student loans, such as like my credit card and the personal loan. It's not that I'm not paying off my student loan, it's that I'm not putting as much money towards that right now because I'm trying to pay off those other two things first. And then once I pay those other two things, then I can start paying off my debts to student loans. Again, the ultimate goal is to reach financial freedom, and currently I owe $29,653. That is a huge number. I understand that. I'm actually not too worried about paying that off. I think given I've seen people in like way more debt, I definitely can do this number. And actually I think I've paid off about like $1,000 of student loans already, which again this was back in 2020, and even in 2020 I didn't even think I would be touching my student loans, like I would even be paying off anything from my student loans. So super happy about that I made a semi dent, and hopefully I can bring this down to $10,000 less. One other thing that I wanted to mention is I am waiting on this paycheck. Hopefully will be coming in Q2. And with that, I am putting a portion of that money to paying off one of my smaller loans. It's about $360. And that would just be a great first step as well to paying off more of my debt. So yeah, just wanted to mention that because that's one of the exciting things that I have planned out for my student loans. I can't tell you right now how much money I'm planning to put into my student loans in terms of Q3, because Q2 there are a lot of things going on. There's still a lot of things I have to pay for, including the credit cards and my friend and all that stuff. So once that's done, I can kind of gauge how much I can really contribute to my student loans. But even now, I think when I started off, I was only paying my Perkins loan, and I was only paying like the minimum, which was $86. Now I've increased it to $100. Last paycheck I paid $135. So as I keep progressing, I'm going to contribute more and more and more. And I'm trying not to get discouraged and trying to just pay off the amounts, not look at it too much, and hope that, I'm able to pay it off in 3 years. And I'm giving myself 3 years to pay this off. Q2 goals that are not related to debt, but still pertain to me and to like things that I want to do for Q2, because not everything that's financial is only debt. So the first thing is I have a lot of birthdays in April. I have about 7 birthdays, and I like to give things to people that I love and adore. So that's one thing that I budgeted into my Q2 budget. The second thing is there's this book that I've been reading that I don't have with me. It's called Financial Freedom by Grant. I don't know how to say your last name and I don't want to butcher it. I'll write it down below. And he talks about something that's similar to like the FIRE model, where like you retire early. But what I like about his method that's a little bit different than FIRE, I feel like FIRE is very much you retire and then you do nothing for the rest of your life. Like you just chill, travel. That doesn't entice me. I like working. I like having a purpose. I like to help out in ways that I can. I like making the world a better place. Not to say leisure is not important, it is. But I'm saying that it's just not my lifestyle. I've come from a working family. My whole family is a working family, so it just, to me, too much leisure just doesn't make sense to me. That's to say, I really like his method because the point of his method is that you're retiring early so that you can do what you love without having to work a job that you don't necessarily enjoy, or that you don't have to work. You're working because you want to work. And that to me is financial freedom. And I was like, I am on board with this. So there's a whole rundown on like how to find your number, and basically you would put your money into like an investment account, kind of like a 401k and an IRA, but it's just your own investment account. And yeah, my goal is to retire within 5 years. If you guys want to learn more about that, please let me know, and I'll definitely run down the numbers that I have and what I'm planning to do into early retirement. And the third thing and the last thing is a hair change. So I've had this blonde hair, I believe, or almost a year, and I like it, you know, no complaints. My hair's been fine for the most part, but I do need a haircut. I haven't had a haircut in almost a year. And I also think I want to do like a different color in my hair. Also, just FYI, June is my B-day month, which is why I'm like even considering a haircut. I know for some people it can seem wasteful to do that because like that money could go towards like paying off my debts or whatever, but I like being able to pay down my debts but also enjoy my life. Like, paying down my debts would not be enjoyable if I were not able to buy certain things or do certain things because all my focus is in debt. If you've been with me through this journey, you'll know that I am not frugal. I'm like fake frugal on some stuff, but I'm not super frugal. So do whatever works for you, but just know that for me, and I think for a lot of people, there needs to be that balance between paying off debt, you know, doing your due diligence to becoming financially free, but also enjoying the process and enjoying your life while you're at it. Because like, come on, I will leave my budget below. I'm going to do an Excel budget so you guys can see exactly where my money is going. You'll notice from my last, like if you look at last year's rent, the rent has increased from last year to this year, and that's because somebody has moved out, so now we're paying rent with less people, so obviously the rent would increase even though I'm living in the same house. So that's just, you know, just as reference. Could I lower down my subscriptions? Of course, but again, I want to enjoy my life. Please let me know if you guys have any questions about my budget. I am more than happy to explain anything. Please let me know if you enjoyed the content, and I hope that you guys are also tackling your debts as much as I am tackling mine. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the Sinkings Funds and Safety Funds video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Adios.